Hello and welcome. Aquarius here, coming to you with another video, and today we are going to be looking at gypsums, gypsum orbs, gypsum casts, what it is, how you get them, and really what all it does for you. I know as a new 60, it can be kind of tricky to know exactly what the gypsum system is, what it does for you, and how to really get them and farm them, because it is a daily thing that you can do every single day that will help increase your gear score. So let's start taking a look first into the gypsum kiln and kind of what we're talking about when we talk about gypsum. As a new 60, you might have heard people talk about gypsums, talk about expertise, and you might even be a little bit confused on what everyone's talking about. So your expertise level is your gear score. So the goal is to get up to 600 gear score to start with, which in my previous video, I did go over some of the ways that you can get to 600 gear score. One of the ways being gypsums. So today we are going deeper into the gypsums. But with the gypsum orbs, what you can do is there's multiple different ways you can actually farm up the gypsums, turn them into orbs, and then with those orbs, you can actually pick a piece of armor or a weapon. And what it will do is if you're below 600 gear score, when you use that gypsum orb on that item to get a gypsum cast, it will actually raise your expertise level in that particular item. So if it's an amulet, it'll raise all your amulet expertise will go up by that amount. So then as you equip a higher gear score item, it's not going to scale it down as far. And then the idea is you are going to hit 600 gear score, whether that's from a drop or through the gypsum cast. This just allows you to hit that 600 gear score that much quicker. And once you hit 600 gear score, then you will actually start to receive umbral shards, which is what you need in order to increase your gear to 625, or really anything above 600. So gypsums are really, really good for a new 60. I really push people to try to farm up your daily gypsums as many as you can. You don't need to do all of them. It does help if you do, but in general, you want to just try to get typically your jewelry, armor, and then your main weapons. Those are kind of the focus areas that I put into when I was trying to level up. And the thing is jewelry transfers between all of your different builds, and so does armor. So getting those two done first to get up to 600 is really, really good, because then all of your builds' average gear score will be able to be higher. You'll have higher armor and all that, just because you have your expertise level up. So usually I start with, like I said, jewelry, armor, your main weapons, and then anything else after that. Kind of once you have your main weapons done, then you can start focusing maybe some other secondaries that you might want to use in the future. But that's what gypsums are. That is kind of the system. So it's just kind of to give you a jump start into your expertise. We didn't previously have this system when New World first came out. A lot of us did have to grind out our gear score without the gypsums, but this really does increase the speed that you can actually get to 600 gear score. Even for a casual player, if you just do even a few of these gypsums every single day, at least it will help keep pushing you towards that 600 gear score, which will allow you to do more in the game. But let's start taking a look at what the different gypsums do, or how you can actually acquire the various gypsums in the world. All right, taking a look at the different types of gypsums. The first one here is the Obsidian gypsum. The best way that I like to get my Obsidian gypsum is to join a train or a chest run and join a group and try to get credit for the named ads that you're killing. Brimstone is usually pretty easy. You can actually do that without a group. For some reason, especially in like Helios, I end up getting credit even as a healer, just like light attacking and popping the ads. The group does make it a little bit easier, but a lot of any of the named ads, on the chest runs will give you an Obsidian gypsum. So I do recommend just like join a train, because you're going to get loot, you're going to get potential expertise bumps. You'll get Obsidian gypsum. Like really, really good to just join a group and do that, because you can kind of knock it all out in one go. For the Obsidian gypsum, you can actually get 3 of the Obsidian. Now, those 3 Obsidian will turn into 1 orb. So through the Obsidian, you can get 1 orb per day. The next one is going to be the Sapphire gypsum. The Sapphire Gypsum is through expeditions, so you can get 2 of those each day, and it is a 1-to-1 ratio per orb. So you can get 2 orbs per day through the Sapphires. All you got to do is just do 2 expeditions in a day, and you'll get that. So really, really easy one. Again, from my previous video, if you're farming expertise, I do recommend maybe just doing 2 Garden of Genesis a day, and your expertise bumps will go up quite a bit from that. The next one that we are going to be looking at is the Garnet. Now, the Garnet is going to come from the PvP 3v3 arenas. You can get 2 orbs per day from the arenas. And, you know, I know not a lot of people are, or not everyone's into the PvP in the game, and that's totally fine. If you want to farm your gypsums, though, this is a really easy way, and the 3v3s don't last too long, so usually you can kind of burn through them pretty quickly. So that's 2 more gypsums that you can get from that. Really, really nice and easy way to get them. The next one is going to be Emerald. Now, Emerald, we're going to go a little bit more into detail with. So Emerald you actually get as your trade skill aptitude levels up. So let's take a look. Let's take a look here. So as you can see, I have a lot of aptitudes in all my trade skills. And what happens is as you hit a tick, so it doesn't need to go all the way around, but if I hit, like on engineering, if I were to hit this tick right here, it would actually give me an aptitude chest, but also my emerald gypsum, which you can get 1 a day for emerald gypsums. And what I do recommend is, let's say you don't want to do all the gathering or crafting specifically to get your aptitude up there to get your daily emerald. The absolute best way that I've found is cooking. Most of us have a lot of cooking supplies. There's also some really inexpensive cooking supplies out there that you can buy. And what you do is you just make hearty meals. So I do recommend getting your cooking up to 200 for this, obviously, but cooking is probably the easiest of the crafting. In fact, it is the easiest of the crafting skills to get up to 200. So I do recommend that, because then every single day you can just make a bunch of hearty meals, get your emerald gypsum, and really, really easy. You don't really have to do much else. So that is the emerald gypsum, and cooking is what I would recommend to get it. The next one is the Citrine. The Citrine is actually going to come from the trials, or what they call trials. And you can actually get 2 of these, I believe, per day, and it is a 1-to-1 ratio, so you will get, 2 orbs per day from this. And for the trials, we'll take a look at the map here. And you have a few different options actually to do the trials, because again, you can get 2 of these a day, so you don't have to do the same one. You can actually do multiples. In Edengrove here, you do have the, I'm not even going to pronounce it, but you have the Edengrove trial. There's this one here. You also have Reekwater, which is one of my favorites, right over here. This is the trial for that. And the nice thing with that is with this one, you can actually farm up quite a bit of lost gear. So I actually really do recommend doing this one for your Citrine gypsum, just because like getting the lost ward gear is really, really nice. So you have those 2, and then we have one more, which is going to actually also be in Reekwater. And we have the Eternal Pool trial. This is also a pretty easy one, not too difficult. We've 4-manned all of these, so they're really not too bad, but those are the 3 that we usually are going to be running. Again, the Sirens one is what I would probably run. Really, really easy. You just have a healer sitting back. You don't really even need a tank necessarily. And you can just DPS her down. Really, really easy. I do recommend the Siren or the Siren one specifically. If you don't have this travel point, what you can do is just do a Siren's train or a Siren's chest run, work through it. Once you end here, drop down, and you can actually get this shrine, and then you can fast travel here over and over. So this one's really easy to spam because of that. So that is how you get your Citrine gypsum. All right, next is going to be Amethyst. The Amethyst you actually get through corruption breaches. So you can get 7 of those a day. So that's 7 corruption breaches that you're going to want to go and take care of. But really, really easy. It's not too difficult to go out and do those. Again, if you join a chest run in Merkgard, that's 5. As long as the portals are up, that's 5 portals that you get immediately just from doing Merkgard chest run. So again, chest runs. I know like some people get sick of it. But if you think about all the different things that you can actually get outside of just like, well, I'm doing a chest run for loot, that's it. Nope, you can actually get gypsums, you can do all this other stuff while you're doing the chest run and get a whole bunch of stuff done in one go. So for those of you who are maybe a little bit tighter on time, you don't have the time to go out and do all these different things, and you want to do as much in one run as possible, doing chest runs and getting these gypsums and all that stuff is going to help you level up to 600 so much faster casually, and then you'll be able to start doing mutated and all that stuff. All right, so Amethyst, you get 7 of those per day. 7 amethysts equal 1 orb, so it's only 1 orb, but again, pretty easy to get. We have next is the ruby gypsum. The ruby gypsums, you can get 2 of these a day, and the way to get this is literally just play Outpost Rush. Does not matter if you win or lose. All you got to do is just play 2 rounds of Outpost Rush, and you will get a ruby gypsum, and you do get loot and other stuff. I do recommend Outpost Rush, even if you're not super into it. Doing 2 a day gets your gypsums a little bit of loot and a little bit of PvP track, which is even extra loot. So yeah, ruby gypsum, Outpost Rush. The next one is kind of the wild card of the bunch, the diamond gypsum. So in the past, we were only able to get 3 diamond gypsums a day, and it's 3-to-1 ratio. So 3 diamond gypsums equals 1 gypsum orb. They have since increased that to 6 per day. So we can actually get 6 diamond gypsums. So that's 2 gypsum orbs per day through it. And the way that you actually get the diamond gypsums varies. So currently with the Winter Convergence Festival, we actually get them from the trees in town. So each settlement has their own like festival tree, and you can actually visit those. And the first 6 that you visit, you'll get your 6 diamond gypsums. They do change diamond gypsum up on how you gather it. So sometimes you'll gather it through like a tree. You know, you might chop a tree and you might get a gypsum. Or like turkey event, they had it where you killed turkeys and got it. So the diamond gypsum is always going to be changing. Which is kind of cool because then with an event, they change it to match up with the event. After the event, we'll see what they do with it. So diamond gypsum, currently Winter Convergence, you get it from the trees, but just keep in mind after the event's over, that is going to change, and we'll see what they end up doing. But I do like that one of them is kind of changing all the time. All right, the last regular gypsum orb we are going to go over is the Topaz gypsum. The Topaz gypsum, you actually need to create a Topaz Potion. And when you take that potion, you actually get a 2-hour buff that as you kill ads that are 55 or higher, they will drop a topaz. You can collect 10 topaz a day, and it takes 5 topaz for 1 gypsum orb. So you can technically get 2 orbs from your topaz. So in order to make the Topaz gypsum, or the Topaz Potion, you can do this at a camp. But we are going to go, if I can find it, is there an Arcana station here? There's not. So, since there's not an Arcana station, we can go over here and set up a tent. And right here. So you don't need an Arcana station. You can actually do it straight from your tent. And what it is you just need to pick 5 of any of these. I usually pick the spinefish fins because I have the most of that. Just pick whatever you have the most of or whatever's the cheapest. And all you need is 5. You can make 1 and you have a chance of making 2. So, and it does give you the description here. Level 55 and higher, up to 10 times per day, lasts for 120 minutes. And you can craft 2. I've crafted 2 before. It's not overly uncommon, so you can craft 2, and it does give you 2, so then you're set for a couple days. But that is the Topaz gypsum. Again, if you are doing a chest run, I know I'm really pushing the chest runs, but if you're doing a chest run, let's go through all the different gypsums you can actually get in one chest run. So looking at Obsidian Gypsum, you can get that from Named. You can get the, let's see, you technically could get your emerald if you started farming something. That we won't really count. You can get your amethyst if you end up doing a merc run. You can actually get 5 of your amethyst gypsums. You can get potentially your diamond. Again, diamond's going to change, but you can also get your topaz. So that's 3. Let's see, topaz, that would be 2 gypsum orbs. Amethyst, that's 1. And then obsidian, that's 1. So that's 4 gypsum orbs that you technically could get in just doing chest runs. All the meanwhile, while you're doing that chest run, you're also gaining expertise and all that as you go. So chest runs with gypsum orbs, plus you throw a few a few expeditions on top, and your expertise will really start going up quite a bit. So that is all the regular gypsums and how to farm them. And then as you can see, there's these things called infused orbs. An infused orb uses infused fragments, whether that's armor, arcane, engineering, jewelry, weapon, any of these, you can actually turn them into gypsum orbs, or into an infused orb. I don't normally recommend that. All it's going to do is give you another case, and it's really just not worth it. You're almost better off selling the fragments or holding on to them, because in order to get these fragments, you have to break down legendary items, and it's just not really viable to actually farm these for gypsum orbs or for infused orbs. So usually I won't recommend it. If you just need one extra one and you got a bunch of scraps, why not? But in general, I don't normally touch the infused orbs. I did when Greatsword just first dropped and tried to use that. But outside of that, I don't touch the infused orbs. Totally do them at your own discretion. If you've got a bunch of fragments, then go for it. But like I said, in general, I usually keep the fragments, or I will sell them if need be. So that is the gypsum kiln. One last thing with the gypsum kiln is the refining material conversion. A little something that if you haven't looked at the kiln, you won't know, but you can actually turn other crafting mods into the specific attribute ones. So some people don't know that, but you can go into the gypsum kiln, take a look, just make sure you click, owned items so you can actually see all the different ones. But technically you can turn 5 dead dryad vines into 1 guardsman insignia. It's not the greatest ratio, but in a pinch you could definitely do it, or if you're sitting in a whole bunch of resources, you could definitely do that. But that is the gypsum kiln, and kind of how you can use it and what it does. All right, so as you look through the gypsum kiln, you have all the different gypsums. We've gone over the infused orbs, how you're going to do the cast. If you have further questions or can't remember exactly what that orb is doing for you, you can click on the gypsum orb here, hover over it, and it will tell you exactly what it does. So I know we've gone through all of them. I know it can be a lot. Some of the phrasing on some of these can be a little bit confusing, like a word for defeating level 60 plus expedition bosses. You get it at the end of the expedition. It's not necessarily defeating the level 60 expedition bosses. So that's what I mean. Some of the wording is a little bit goofy. Really, it's just complete the expedition, and you'll get it. Level 60 expedition, I believe, and you'll get it. But the way they word it is a little bit strange, so that's why I'm not like going super into what they're saying on them. But if you do need a reminder, you can definitely check some of these, and they will tell you what you need to do in order to get them. It just doesn't tell you how many each day you can get. But as a little tip, you can hover over it. I wish they would put it off to the side here, so then as you hover over each one, it was a little easier, but not a big deal. At least they have it in the kiln and have it available for you to be able to check it out yourself and know how to get them. All right, well, hopefully this video helped you out. I know we went over quite a bit with the gypsum system, but there's a lot to go over, and there's quite a few different ways to get your gypsum up there. And again, if no one really tells you what to do with it, you're not going to know. So hopefully this video does help you out and gives you a little bit more in what to know. But if you did like the video, please drop it a like. If you want to see more content, you're always welcome to subscribe. And I do stream throughout the week on Twitch, so you're more than welcome to stop by a stream, say hello, ask any questions or anything like that. Or if you just want to lurk and hang out, you're more than welcome to. But that is going to do it for me for this one. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.